After such a long time, Roots of Pacha is here and I'm going to tell you if it was worth the wait after all. Hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. I played Roots of Pacha for 15 hours, so in this before you buy, I'm gonna share everything you need to know to decide if it's the game for you. Thank you Crytivo for providing me with a game code. The first thing you'll notice about Roots of Pacha is its prehistoric setting, which naturally sets the story in the Stone Age. Keeping things spoiler-free, you're playing as a character who was adopted and is about to undertake the rite of passage, as your clan also happens to begin to settle in a new promising land. You'll see townsfolk having huts instead of houses, prehistoric tools, clothing from the old times, and this all shapes the sense of wonder of how things used to be back in the day. With the recent farming games, we've been seeing the rush to use modernity and technology, but Roots of Pacha has no problem taking you back and letting you start from scratch. From there, you'll meet different characters, each with their own storyline, family tree, and struggles. So if you like a more story-driven farming game, you definitely have that here, as you're trying to learn about this tight-knit community and discover more about Pacha. The pixel art here is beautiful. The attention to detail in the characters, clothing, tattoos, animals, and decorations show the love that the devs have poured into this one. To accompany this graphical charm, the sound department was the final magical touch. Sound effects add to your immersion, where the sound of rain, animals, and using your different tools is clear and well done. The music is the icing on the cake, where I found myself singing along the tunes, which rarely happens these days. My favorite part was during the evenings, where you hear the sound of crickets and the music just becomes so relaxing and wholesome. Finally, the menu system represents the game's setting really well, with its prehistoric and more primitive design. I would say this is definitely handsome menu approved. The only complaint that I had here is that the HUD was occupying too much of the screen, so I wonder how will this look when the game arrives to the Nintendo Switch, where handheld mode offers a much smaller screen than what your monitor would. But what's a good farming game without a strong gameplay foundation? Roots of Pacha introduces so many fun gameplay mechanics that will keep you entertained for hours. You can create your own character and choose from a wide range of eye shapes, eye color, face tattoos, skin tones, and more, and you'll also have plenty of cosmetics to acquire the more that you play. Oh, and you're asked to name your character, but I misread that and I thought I'm supposed to name my clan. So if you see me being referred to as Teddy Clan this entire time, not Bubbles, that's why. Roots of Pacha does a really good job introducing you to the core gameplay mechanics of how to move, how to use your tools. Even when you learn more mechanics, you can always refer to an in-game guide in case you forgot what to do. Additionally, the questing system is straightforward, which I love. It will tell you exactly where to go. It will also point out where the person you need to contact can be found, and when you discover a new idea, it will show you in your journal exactly what resources you need to complete it. Speaking of ideas, let's start talking about some of the main gameplay loops in Roots of Pacha. Basically, when you start, you don't know that much about the world. However, you and your clan will come together to advance what you know. By contributing resources you find or items you create to the contribution box, you will increase your clan's prosperity, which will drive them to create new advancements for the betterment of everybody, like keeping the river safe for children not to drown, or maybe even hanging up clothing lines to dry up their clothes. Contributions, on the other hand, are pretty much your currency. The more you contribute, the more money you will have to spend. You have so many things to buy, and this mostly shines in the decorations department that you can buy from Reese. So as you can see, these cute little cat chairs and fluffy puffs, there's so much for you to decorate with. I really like the selection offered here. But you can also use the money alongside resources to build animal sheds, expand your house, buy cooking utensils, to name a few. Apart from contributions and prosperity, you also have ideas, which is pretty much one of the most fantastic things that Roots of Pacha does. These are new, let's say, technologies that your clan will discover the more you work on your farm and progress the story. For instance, in the beginning, you only gather seeds by finding them and just taking them. Later on, the idea of having a seed nursery will come about, so you can start to buy them. You can also get the idea for smoking, fermenting or drying food, making juice, building a shed to tame animals, and even riding animals. So there are so many ideas to discover, and that's pretty much the main point of Roots of Pacha. It's to drive the story forward and unlock new gameplay mechanics. Another fun thing about Roots of Pacha is having different places to go to get new resources, but most importantly, getting a flute and being able to tame a wide range of animals that come in different sizes and shapes and genders that you usually don't see in other games. Like, you can tame a freaking mammoth and have it a pet. I have a pet mammoth and I called him Teddy. And to get one, all you have to do is visit the animal for several days, play the flute, which gives you a little rhythm minigame to complete, which is pretty easy to do, and then when the animal trusts you enough, you can invite it to join your clan. These animals can be your pets, your mounts, but you can also use them to get resources and even breed them. The one annoyance that I had with these animals is that they kind of get sick out of nowhere. Even if you don't necessarily leave them out in the rain or you don't feed them, they just get sick. Moving on, one of the important places you'll discover is the caves. This is where you will mine and find rare ores. However, unlike other games, Roots of Pacha changes your traversal inside. Rather than have a rock that you break to find a rope, let's say, you actually need to solve puzzles by offering the right items, which will be displayed throughout paintings on the walls. As innovative as the idea is, I was getting stuck more times than I'd like to admit. I absolutely hate puzzles. You guys know me. I freaked out a couple of times and I had to ask the devs for help. And the thing is, these are very important. You have to do them if you want to learn more about Pacha, more about the lore of this game, so keep that in mind. But let's go back a little bit to the topic of tools. So when you start the game, you have a hand axe and you'll use it in the beginning to till the soil, get rid of grass, fish, as well as gather smaller stones and wood. However, using these tools will use up your stamina, but we can increase that, so don't worry, we'll talk about it more when we get to the prophecies section of this gameplay. However, there was a really cool welcomed feature here. You don't need 100 tools to do basic things unlike other games, and even when you're gaining a couple of them, they're all tucked away in your inventory, so they're not taking any extra space. And the same is applied to your Cs. They're all tucked away in a space alone, and they're not gonna take extra space in your inventory. Speaking of tools, you can also get better ones. For example, eventually you'll unlock the harpoon for fishing, and fishing is actually very creative in this game. To fish, you don't use a fishing rod, but rather the hand axe or harpoon, and then you need to move your cursor to the fish you want. You need to sit and wait for the perfect moment and then click when it's time. You will need to wait for the bars below the fish to fill up, and you'll also have to move away if the fish is spotting you. This was such a refreshing new take on fishing and farming games. Now, remember when I told you about stamina and that you can increase it? Well, this is done by getting various accessories which you can bond to your character, and the ones that I've gained so far was through completing prophecies. These are similar to Stardew Valley Community Center objectives. You can see the titles of different things you need to do in the game. There's no guidance as to how you'll do it, but if you find yourself stuck and not knowing how to do something, you probably just need to play the game a little bit more, and once you do, you will unlock it, and voila! You have some new gears and accessories to help you along your journey. One thing I really like about this game is that it lets you have some say in how your land is going to look. So as you unlock new huts and buildings, you can choose where to place them, including your house, and the same is applied with decorating your house or placing items inside. There is more space for creativity, which was a welcome change. You'll be crafting plenty of items like storage boxes, fences, irrigation systems, and more to help you not only decorate but also make new items and overall make your farming experience more efficient. Moving from the farming aspects of this game, let's talk about the relationship systems, and it's actually the thing that I interacted with the least. There are different characters for you to romance, marry, and have a baby with, but even non-romanceables can become your friends and you get to enjoy fun festivals with them. However, I was completely uninterested in learning about any of them. I just didn't feel connected to them. I did not get a sense of care towards them, which I found very weird because like in Rune Factory 5, I was so interested and invested in the characters, but here I just couldn't care less. However, festivals are super fun in Roots of Pacha. There's a painting festival where you can paint walls, animal races with different tracks to enjoy, but they're a bit clunky to navigate, and festivals with plenty of minigames that you can participate in, to name a few. And by the way, you can play through all of these with your friends. As in friends in real life when you play together in co-op mode. Now here are some more things that you might want to know about Roots of Pacha to make sure you're making the right purchasing decision. You cannot save manually, so you do have to go to bed, and that was kind of a negative because sometimes I just don't have time to get to bed. I need to get out of the game ASAP. You also cannot change the speed of the game. However, in my opinion, the current speed is the perfect balance, but if you care about that, you can't do it here. Another thing is that yes, you can play with friends. However, based on my experience with Josh from Josh's Gaming Garden, by the way, check out his video because he's going to be covering the game as well, you have to start a new character to join your friend's session. So the host's quests are yours now, but you lose all the things that you have gained, such as cosmetics, seeds, accessories, and tools. So if you plan to play with a friend, I suggest you do so from the start and just stick it together. Performance was super smooth in Roots of Pacha, and I was so happy to see that. I only had one weird issue where sound effects vanished, but they went back to normal when I restarted the game. Otherwise, I did not experience any bugs or stuttering, and my gameplay experience was smooth as butter, which is always good to see. It's time for our bubbly of the day, and you can become one in the next video by simply squishing the like button and leaving a comment down below. And today's bubbly is Chelsea. Chelsea says, I just heard about this game the other day and I got so excited when I saw your video covering it pop up. They're talking about Songs of the Prairie. Great job as always. Thank you so much. I'm very happy that you enjoyed it. I've been experiencing with some new gameplay kind of stuff on the channel, so it's always good to see feedback like this. So we talked about the good and the bad. Is Roots of Pacha the one for you? We're gonna go with this game's for you if, not for you if, and my verdict. Roots of Pacha is the game for you if you've been looking for a new take in the farming genre with innovative and creative gameplay mechanics. It's for you if you like to see progress not only in the tools you gain, but also the story and lore that you'll explore. It's for you if you are a completionist, as you have so many ideas to discover, items to craft, prophecies to complete, decorations to buy, and so on. And this game is for you if you have played farming games and you know your way around them. However, Roots of Pacha is not the game for you if you like more fast-paced farming games where combat is also a part of the gameplay mechanics. It's also not for you if you get frustrated by puzzles. As I mentioned, the caves are very important for your journey, but you have a lot of puzzles and trials to get through them. It's also not for you if you're completely new to the farming genre. In my opinion, I would say this is more of an intermediate game. I was having a really good time with Roots of Pacha in the beginning, but slowly I just started to lose interest, get distracted, and really not want to play the game anymore. The devs were very innovative and creative, and you can tell lots of love has been poured into the game. However, my struggle was that Roots of Pacha felt just very slow. Not in the sense of starting with weak tools and little ideas, but I just did not get attached to the game or the characters, or I don't know, it just felt really slow. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I didn't have the urge to come back, and that's usually rare because when I connect with a farming game, that's it, like we're best friends. I'm ready to play all over again every day. So you know me, I'm always honest with what I have to say about games. This game is really good. There's so much in it for you, and it might be your favorite farming game ever, but it was just not the game for me. But enough about me. What did you think about Roots of Pacha? Are you buying it day one? Are you gonna wait for the Nintendo Switch release? Let's talk about it in the comment section. And if you enjoyed enjoyed this video, guys, do me a solid favor and squish that like button. I am exhausted. I had 2 before you buys to do for the same day, an ethics application for my PhD, and another news piece that I had to put out for Fantasy Life. I'm about to go insane. Stay bubbly, stay positive, and I'll see your gorgeous, beautiful, amazing self in the next one. Bye! This video was made possible by the best bubbly community in the world, my Patreon and YouTube members, and you can become one as well and enjoy a lot of perks by checking the links in the comment section. So of course, thank you to my Patreons, your support means the world to me, and a shout out to the Game Dimension, Faye, Jacob, Stephanie, Steven, Dark One, and Jake Logan for going the extra mile.